I was blind from birth until 2016. As I know for a fact, if that happened in New York or New Jersey, they would get thrown out of the restaurant without a question. Hi, I'm Olivia, and today we're going to talk about Los Angeles. You've probably heard about the high rents. You've probably heard about the high gas prices. You've probably heard about all this stuff. Maybe you love Los Angeles. Maybe you hate Los Angeles. But I'm going to talk to you today about my Los Angeles, the one that I love. And I've seen people give so much advice. 5 items here that I think for me personally are the most interesting things I've discovered that people do not talk about Los Angeles. Most coffee houses either have only a few seats and they're uncomfortable because they don't want you to stay, or they have no seats at all. We have Starbucks that have only bars. Some independent coffee houses don't have bathrooms. For me to find a place to work with my laptop on the daily is very difficult unless I stay home. Now, if you live in like Pasadena or you live in West Hollywood, you're probably gonna be like, well, Olivia, I have 10 coffee houses with a whole thing of seats that I can go to at any time. Yeah, I don't live there. Los Angeles is big. Just know, if you need to meet up someplace with your friends, it may be a little more difficult. I kind of knew this, but I think a lot of my friends didn't understand this. Crystal healing and New Age is a big deal here. In other states, it's not considered a mainstream thing. It's always like an alternative option. Just know that some of the coolest people you're gonna find are in these communities. I love it when people are accepting and welcoming of other people, even if they don't necessarily have the same beliefs. So number 3 was a really, I know I'm holding up 4 fingers, I'm not really counting for you. It's hard for me, guys. It's, camera, face, eyeballs, don't know where to look. You will rent an apartment in Los Angeles, and most of them do not have refrigerators included. They will give you a microwave and a stove, but no refrigerator. For me, number 2 is actually my number 1. Ever since I was a little girl, I was into Halloween. Haunted houses kind of are accessible for people with low vision as long as you can get through safely and you have somebody going through with you. Lights are amazing. Like I said, even in the back, I've always loved Christmas lights and I still have mine up. But only about 10% of people who have vision impairment cannot see some sort of light or shape and color. And for my particular situation, haunted attractions were a way that I could feel normal for just a little bit. And the thing is, in Los Angeles, they don't really have a lot of them. The culture is, in the rest of the country, large farm haunted houses where each haunted house is carefully crafted to scare the crap out of you. There almost is never any alcohol at these events. In LA, it is more about alcohol and less about the scaring. With the exception of Knott's Berry Farm, that's the closest thing to what I remember. There's a hummingbird right behind my camera. Sorry, got distracted, bird flew up. But anyway, I fly every year to Orlando because after the first couple years here, I just realized that the general vibe of what is done here is not exactly everything that I need. That's not to say that the events are bad in LA. I love this town. I love what they bring to it. And in fact, I would say LA does immersive theater better than anybody else. If you have the opportunity to see an immersive theater production, definitely do it. I can recommend you some if you DM me, if you're in town. We go hard on that, and I love it. I love dogs. I've always owned dogs. I spent about 5 years studying dog training. And for the blind community, guide dogs can be a very, very big thing. I'm not talking about working dogs. I'm not talking about people who are very responsible dog parents. What I'm talking about are the small minority of dog owners in Los Angeles that kind of ruin it for the rest of us in some ways. I have had my personal space invaded several times by people that bring their dogs into restaurants. I was at a taco place once and I was sitting in the corner eating my food, and a lady brings her large dog over, positions him so the dog is kind of putting his butt into my face, and There was plenty of space that she could have chosen to use, but she chose to invade my space with her animal. And I actually had to move. And she didn't seem to care. It was all about her. I was just at a restaurant a few days ago and was actually recording. I was supposed to be recording videos about the food, but there was a woman behind me in a very small area of the restaurant that was screaming at the top of her lungs the word "sit" over and over again. Her dog was not trained. She proceeded to monopolize the entire area of the dining room as if it was her own personal dog training center, while about 8 or 9 other people were in there trying to eat. And this is a case where you kind of feel like you don't know what to do. Like, you don't want to seem like you're somebody that doesn't like dogs or you're a jerk, but then you also are having your peace disrupted by this person that has brought their animal into a place where maybe they shouldn't be, but even if they should be there, they should be trained, they should be well behaved. As I know for a fact, if that happened in New York or New Jersey, they would get thrown out of the restaurant without a question. Anyway, my goal is I'm starting these videos. I'm trying to do a video once per week, so please cheer me on, and I will see you next Friday.